Welcome to the Talent with Purpose Project podcast. If you dream of making it in film, fashion, television, or theater, you're in the right place. Join us as we connect with today's top talent agents, managers, and casting directors, as well as performers who started out just like you, bringing you insider insights and expert guidance to help you shine in the performing arts. Brought to you by Gold Talent International, this podcast is your gateway to success, from Hollywood to Las Vegas and beyond. Are you ready? Let's go. Welcome to the Talent with Purpose podcast, Kwai, where passion meets action and stories light the way. Today's spotlight is on cinematographer Victor Nikamo. At just 17 years of age, this powerhouse from Sweden is rewriting the rules of creative success. From picking up a camera at 12 to mastering the industry's required grit and flow, Victor lives and breathes resilience. He's not just filming, he's leading, running his own marketing and film production company, crafting visuals with emotional bite, and contributing to films that are Cannes World Film Festival contenders. This is more than hustle. It's purpose in motion, so buckle up, because Victor's journey is a thrilling fusion of heart, movement, unstoppable drive, passion, and purpose combined. Let's dive right in and meet Victor. Are you ready?
So, Victor, we know that at one point you had planned and were working on being an actor, which I would say is a very important aspect of understanding what is needed when making a film, because you have to understand both sides behind and in front of the screen. But why did you choose photography?
So my journey started around 5 years ago, in the beginning of 2020, where I started making like short form videos and comedy sketches on YouTube with friends, and I took on the role of like the director, the editor, the actor, and I mean all the roles, and it developed, and we did that for about 2 years. And in late 2022, 2023, I found an acting class here in Stockholm. And I mean, the first lessons was free. And then I continued for a year or so, because I really thought, oh my God, I really want to be an actor. It was really fun. And I got a few roles in Stockholm Film School, a movie they did. And when I did that movie, I think that was my third job. I was just frustrated because I wanted to like help make the movie. I was just, okay, here come, do your thing, and then go sit in the car or wait somewhere. And I didn't do anything else, and I just felt an urge to like, I want to hold the camera. I want to be part of that team, not sit in the car and like eat cookies. So from there, I quit the acting class and I bought my first camera. And from there took off, because I, through the acting class, met Oswald, as you had on earlier. And we started creating together. And our first real work was the movie you probably had heard about, For Better or Worse. And I mean, so that's really what changed. I wanted to become an actor because I thought that was what I wanted to do. But when I didn't get to like, what can you say? When I didn't get to be part of that team creating the film, I didn't feel it. That wasn't my thing, really. So I bought a camera and started creating through hours on YouTube and online classes. I kind of taught myself too, and thereby I became some sort of filmmaker and now a DOP.
An interesting dynamic of how one develops in this industry into something that satisfies one, makes one happy, makes one contented in the role that they play. And this is something I think develops as one goes along. But you are extremely young to have found that within the dynamic of filmmaking and, let's just say, creation, because you are a creator, and there has to be a form of creativity within all of that particular process. So, at a young age, you are now 17 years of age, and you've done a whole lot of stuff for somebody at a young age, whereas somebody who may be more older in years may have had the same amount of experience as you have had. What do you think has brought your insight and your creativity to the fore? What is it that you wish to express to the world through your creation?
What I've noticed most of my work is about is, I mean, in a year ago, I started like my journey to in filmmaking, and I started uploading on Instagram like short videos that I just like inspired me, kind of motivational, kind of just like audios I found on Instagram. But what I found through that and the films I have created, I mean, through filmmaking, you want to create some sort of emotions in people. You want to make them feel connected to the story, whatever the story is. I mean, it could be about love, building love, love that's falling apart. You want to make some sort of connection with the audience. Because I have done a lot of different works, documentaries, short films, sketches, humor, and what I have as like through all of that is that I want them to feel connected to whatever the story and emotion is. But the one I feel is the deepest and most important is like the drama genre, where it's actually some kind of life lesson that people can take with them, more than just a laugh. But I mean, you always want humor in your stories, almost. I feel like so.
So these are interesting aspects of the self. I find that the performing arts industry, which includes forms of creation, whether it's stage work or whether it's screen work or TV work or whatever actually manifests as it goes along, is part of what I term the healing arts, that a story can shift someone's understanding of who they are and what they're experiencing. And therefore, it gives them another alternative way to process whatever they're experiencing at any one particular point. Do you see yourself as a healer in your form as a movie maker?
Not so. I can say a somewhat of a healer, but I would say more of like leaving a message, leaving something you can think about, something unanswered, and making the audience get to make up their own answers, because that I feel like that makes more of an imprint and people remember it more. And it's a balance. You can't leave too much unanswered, but yeah. So not much of a healer, but more of like insights and that kind of stuff. What kind of drives me to like creating visual imagery, like films and all the things I do that people take in and maybe remember. I mean, sometimes it's just like, sometimes it's just a dopamine kick, maybe, if it's a short on Instagram or something. But it's also different who watches this, because someone may be just like, oh, I don't know, I don't care about this. And someone really thought it was really impacted their life and maybe a decision they made in their own life. And that's what I feel. That's one of the things I also think about when you get like feedback and stuff on what you do, because just because one person believes I hated this and it was awful and I can't even watch this, I'm gonna unfollow you, or two-person thinks that, doesn't mean it is like that. It can have a completely different impact on someone else.
So let's talk a little bit about connection, because at this moment I know that you are busy filming Faces.
Yeah.
But what has got to me is the way technology has supported you in this process, because you are 2,500 kilometers away from the screenwriter and the producer.
Screenwriter, producer, director.
Yeah.
He's like everything. But we're working. Me and Oswald. It's an incredible teamwork, because we really have everything that the other one doesn't. I mean, I know everything about film. I can do it by myself. If he gives me a script and he gives me the script, he contacts the actors and tells them what to do, and I pick up the camera and make sure we get the best picture of it. So our teamwork is really the best dynamic, because we have everything. And that's why I'm really excited about this project and working with him again. Because Faces was, no, for better or worse, was such a success. Even like one year later. So with Faces, we are now in the process of like getting finance and budgeting. And being a part of this project means a lot to me, and it will be on a scale that I really haven't done anything else on, and neither has he, directing anything like this. And that's also kind of a fun part of it, because we have researched everything, but we have no like experience in that scale. I mean, we have done our films, we know we're good at the art, but now it comes all the administrative stuff and schedules and making everything. And at this point, I feel like we're killing it, really. But we'll see where it end up. But I'm really proud to be part of it, and I think it will be amazing once the finished film is here.
Well, what I'm hearing from this particular process is that it will take an amazing amount of trust in one's ability to understand the vision of the producer and director in order to achieve an end result. But in a movie, there are very definitely different aspects which need to flow according to the ability to want to see what is necessary, what is needed, or what can be done to add to the whole story, because otherwise you get a very, very fragmented story of people's different understandings of that particular dynamic. How have you built that vision and that trust? And yes, it's Oswald's, but this could be with other directors and producers and screenwriters as well, in the future. So, how have you built that trust?
You mean the trust between me and Oswald?
Yes.
Yeah, so as you said, we're 2,500 kilometers away from each other, so there's not like, oh, I'll come by tomorrow. So the trust that he has for me in like filming, this is just like the marketing material, but still, it's an important part. And I think it's just built up by me showing what I can do and previous projects we'd worked on. And I mean, our relationship between each other. Like we thinks very alike when it comes to film. I know when he says something, I know how to translate that into like filming terms, or like filming for what I'm going to do very quickly and easily. So just by doing a lot of projects together have kind of helped us with that communication, and is also partly a big deal in how smoothly this marketing shoot has run now the past week.
You're with the Talent with Purpose podcast, where passion meets action and stories light the way. If you're interested in watching new episodes, please remember to subscribe by hitting the bell icon. Please share this episode with your friends and family so they can connect with our platform and be inspired. You can also inspire other people who may be interested in our world of fashion, arts, and entertainment by posting in the comments section below. Just a simple hello or even commenting algorithm will drive this podcast to others' feeds and screens. Let's put purpose into motion and add to the whole. Thank you for subscribing and valuing our content. Are you ready for the rest of this episode? Let's go.
For it. But for me, creation is a space or a place, or even a pace of a process that is happening that we learn from. And we learn from the potential that we have within any particular process going on at any one particular time. So, for example, when we are producing showcases in the performing arts of new talent, we know what outcome we want, which is to present the very best situation for any one of our new performers in order to express themselves in that moment fully.
Yeah.
It's why you would do different takes in a movie, because you are seeing that there is potential has not been achieved in that moment. I'm talking aside from bloopers, because bloopers are a part of the ongoing process. So the question I have is literally, sometimes these outtakes made because we can see a different way of doing things because we've learned from a particular scene.
You talk about the marketing shoots.
Any shoot done in terms of any film or any particular story that you are working with that's unfolding. And the question really is as you are filming, are you thinking I can do this better or differently, or I can let the story unfold in a different way, and therefore you would reshoot a particular scene?
So I'm gonna take this quote from Oswald because I think he said it really good. And what he does, and I don't know, he took it from some director, but what he does and what he taught me to do is, on the first take, don't give the actors too many things to think about. Just, they have done their work. If you have good actors, they have done their work, they have done the research, they know the character. Just let them try on the first take and then go from there. Because as soon as you give some sort of note or something to think about, you're gonna lose that forever. You can't get that back, their natural instinct. But about doing retakes, what I usually do, it's mostly Oswald that, as the director, that chooses if we're gonna do a retake or something, or if he's happy. But I always if we got time, we nailed the shot. I always like to do one or two more to just okay, what can we change up? I mean, can we put someone in a different location? Can we just change the camera move, make it slower, make it faster? Just some change to it, because we know, okay, we got the shot, but maybe we can improvise something a little bit more interesting. It most times don't work, but if you got the time, I mean, sometimes it gives really interesting shots that you can take from. So the question, when I decide to do a retake or not, I mean, it's just about how good the shot is. Did we nail the focus? Did we nail the move? Did the character nail their performance? If something went wrong, we're doing it again. And always when I plan out the shoot, I always have at least half an hour extra time. So stuff can go wrong, because stuff is going to go wrong no matter what you do. You can't go around that, really. It's very hard. So always have extra time and always do that last take, because you never know. You might come home and load it up on the computer and, oh shit, we failed the focus. This is worthless. We can't use this. So, I mean, that's my advice.
Well,
extra time and one extra take.
correct. Well, any scene that needs to be filmed takes quite a lot of time and energy and effort to set up. So you don't want to waste that particular setup or that scene
No,
availability you have to film it in every possible way that you can.
exactly. Because it's much easier to just do one extra take on set while you're there than to come home. Oh no, it didn't work. We need to do it again. Then rent the location again, get all the gear. I mean, get all the actors. It's way too much work to redo it than to just like do a backup when you're there. And it doesn't take that much time. I mean, if it's not like a 10-minute scene or adolescence, uh, but if it's just like a short take but an important one, just do that extra one. You never know.
It's fascinating what goes on behind the scenes, and I'm sure many of our viewers and listeners are interested in developing this aspect of themselves, and they dream of being on a movie set or a film set. What advice could you give to a newbie who has not yet stepped onto a film set as to what they need to do in order to feel secure within themselves, knowing full well that there's many people on a set can be very direct or very straightforward, and that can make somebody very nervous if they're not sure of what's going on.
My advice is very simple, actually. It's just like start creating. I mean, you don't need a massive budget. You don't need any budget, really, to make a film if you're interested in going behind the camera. And nowadays, there are so many indie productions going on all the time. So just like being active on social media, or even just starting your own project. That's what I did. I mean, I got my first camera. My first project ever was a 21-second long movie magic video where I created a portal and everything, and it was filmed on a GoPro Hero 7 that cost, I don't know, I got it for $150 maybe. So I mean, just start creating. It can be with your phone, with anything, and you can really make anything into a film. One time I wanted to make a dolly shot, and I built my own dolly with a skateboard and a few plywood and a tripod on it, and I connected a screwdriver that I controlled with my foot to make it automatically slide to film myself. That was like, and it worked, and people believed it was actually filmed like on a real dolly. So my advice is just start, pick up the camera, pick up whatever you're wanting to do. If it's in lights, microphone, camera, just start creating, and things will eventually fall into place.
This is very sage advice for people who want to get into the industry, because we work with so many youngsters and new talent that's coming, wants to get into the industry, but they want this whole perfect outcome to be in line before they trust themselves enough to step into the process. And for us, the work all the time is just to tell them, look, we're looking for potential. We're not looking for that perfection. Are you willing to progress forwards? Because it takes anyone quite a long time to get into the industry. And they need that bit, they need that experience, they need that confidence within themselves. There's one young lady we worked with many, many years ago, and it took her about 5 or 6 years to get into the industry, and now she's got 3 or 4 movies lined up, one after the other. But she's superb in them because she's taken the time to study, to go to classes, to learn, to have an acting coach, to and etc. 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 She's worked on all of these particular processes, and there's nothing like experience to bring out one's confidence. So, where did you get your confidence from, even though you started at an early age?
I actually don't know where it came from. I think it all comes down to getting rid of the fear of failing, because that stops so many, it closes so many doors for you if you can fail. And I mean, the first films and the first work I did, editing and whatever, it was terrible. And even like a year ago, when I look back now, or just a few months, I just feel like, why? I get so frustrated because I know something now that I didn't know then. I'm always evolving. And I mean, you're never going to be like, it's hard to start as the best. You can't just, oh, I'm going to train for 10 years and then I'm going to be the best, but I have no contacts because no one knows of me. So you'll get nowhere. But just like starting, doing, failing, and I think the most important question to ask yourself after every thing you do is like, if it went wrong, what went wrong? If you can answer that question, great. If you can't, move on. So yeah, it's that fear of failing that most people have, and I really don't know why I didn't have it. I suppose I just like had so much fun doing what I do, so it didn't matter. I think that's kind of what happened, because I enjoyed the art and the work so much that I really didn't care about what anyone thought. And I mean, I started making my first films when I was in, I think, 7th or 6th grade in school. So you get, I mean, you don't get the best. You get kind of bullied sometimes. But I was so happy doing it, so I didn't care. My friends did, kind of, but I also think I didn't even know people were making fun of me. I was so just like in my own bubble that I didn't even realize it. So I have no direct advice. That's just what happened to me. But if you can figure out what is like what your fear is, what are you scared of, and kind of like understanding that, because most people just, oh, I'm scared of what others will think of me and what others will say, and that makes up my self-worth, and that just kind of doesn't work. You're not gonna get so far with that, and it's hard. I know it's hard to get rid of it, but if you're doing something that you really enjoy doing, I think at one time you will just like stop caring and you will be so much in your own bubble that you don't even notice what others say anymore.
So thank you for your openness and sharing that with such a transparent and honest heart, Victor. That's exactly as we started out this podcast talking about the healing arts and the performing arts, is to learn to identify the fear that holds one back from achieving happiness and success within oneself and just being happy with what we are doing as a person and growing as a person. So to us, that's the embodiment of success in this industry. It's not the fame and the glory, it's the growing as a person, being happy, knowing that I've been given a platform, a process to allow me the honor of changing others, inspiring people, etc., etc. So that's the connection I always have with the performing arts and the healing arts. And that's been the background really I've been working in a long time. And it's quite amazing how you can see immediately where we call them young talent, but it's new talent. It can be of any age, where they are sitting and what they are trying to do and what they're wanting to do and achieve and what is holding them back. So it's sage advice to say, just get going, because this is what we say. If you want to be in the performing arts on whatever level, whether it's as a singer, a model, an actor, a dancer, what is actually stopping you from learning and getting into it and learning as you go? There's nothing stopping anybody.
Yeah.
So for us, that's the motivation always of where we are working, and so wonderful to be able to say that that's the connection we're seeing within you and the journey that you have undertaken within your own life of, no, let's not let fear hold the moment back. Let's override that, identify it, and let's make a decision about how we're going to grow and create potential.
Yeah.
Such a powerful message. So I think we've perhaps found the title for our podcast today.
Well, perfect.
Well, thank you for that.
And
Great indeed.
yeah, I think it's really about the balance. If you can get a why stronger than the fear, it's going to outweigh, and then it's not gonna affect you anymore. And why are you doing this? What's driving you towards even what is your goal? I mean, it's kind of interesting because I have a very clear goal in what my dream job and dream life and career is. And it may be very early and it may change a lot through the years. But the thing is, when I ask people about this, because it's a very interesting question to just ask someone, what is your goal? Like, or what is your dream? Do you have a dream like life in front of you? And it's 50-50. Some people just don't have anything they're going towards, or even a dream, even if it's so unrealistic it could be. Some people can't even imagine it, and I think that's pretty sad sometimes. So if you don't even need, if you just can get a goal and a dream, if you just can dream it and imagine it, sometimes that's a good start and even enough to just like get going, to just see what is your dream, what do you dream about.
Yeah,
And
100%. That's exactly what we look at the whole time. And, there's a statistic in the industry that says only a very, very low percentage of people actually ever make it in the industry. So our question came up, what does it mean by making it? And we are figuring out that if you are happy, then you are successful. If you are working and happy about working, then you are successful. So the definition of what success is an important aspect of the work that we do, but we cannot define what somebody's happiness is. or that is, and I think happiness is a combination of a whole lot of processes going on, which one can identify as they're going along. And you most certainly have found your peace and your happiness within the structure of the work that you do and your ability and wanting to tell stories, and also on the people that you're surrounding yourself with. These are very, very important points for people to understand and to be inspired by. So for me, thank you for that, and thank you for sharing that story and that aspect of who you are. It's in a plastic world, because the world of entertainment can be incredibly plastic in its persona, but behind the scenes, there's a reality, and the people that are making things happen are real people. And those are what we like to connect with, and those that we wish to work with, is that sense of realness and authenticity within a particular person. So thank you for that, Victor.
Thank you.